tonight's main event is Seth Rollins retains the World Heavyweight title with help from his wife, Becky Lynch. Becky coming out in disguise, the low blow to CM Punk, and that would allow Seth Rollins to retain the title. Presumably that means that Becky Lynch is now a part of the Vision stable, but we don't know that for sure. This could just be a one-off. I hope it means that she's a permanent part of the Vision, though. The fact that her attack came against CM Punk, the arch nemesis of Seth Rollins, has to tease the idea of doing Seth and Becky versus Punk and AJ. Please? That might be wishful thinking, but do you know what? I really want to see AJ Lee back in WWE. What do you think? Do you think that would be the end result? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This is things you might have missed from WWE's Clash in Paris. Hit the like button on the video, it really does help the video out, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. A really cool stage for tonight's Clash in Paris, and I really hope this is something WWE do more of moving forward, considering they've made a hell of a lot of money from the ESPN deal. All I kept thinking about, though, is, isn't it a shame that Kevin Owens isn't around? Because you know for a fact Kevin Owens would have jumped off of this stage just so we could have the tagline, Kevin Owens jumps from the Eiffel Tower, right? Well, with over 30,000 loud fans packing out the arena tonight, it was Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed kicking things off. Roman tonight wearing two Ula Falas, which Michael Cole would say represents both his father and his uncle, the Wild Samoans, as he was paying tribute to both. A really solid opening match. Bronson Reed looked great, but it would be the Tribal Chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns, who would pick up the win. But it wasn't over there. He would confront Paul Heyman. He would take the shoes back and choke out his former wise man. Roman would then sign the shoes and throw them out into the audience. You know, there are some shoes going onto eBay tonight. Out of nowhere, though, Bron Breakker would then spear Roman Reigns right through the English announce table. And then later on, as Roman was leaving, he'd spear him again. And then we'd see multiple tsunamis by Bronson Reed. Finally, Jey Uso would come out, trying to make the save. I mean, your cousin's just getting the crap kicked out of him. But you just take your time, Jey, do you know what I mean? This went really long, but do you know what? I don't mind at all. This was 100% a way to write Roman Reigns off of WWE TV. Braun and Bronson, well, they look like absolute beasts for doing this. It was cool. The Wyatt Sicks would retain the Tag Team Championships tonight, defeating the Street Profits. How cool was it to hear the Wyatt Sicks theme song, Bray's theme song, be sang by the French fans tonight? That was so cool. Hopefully that becomes one of those things that catches on in the United States as well. The Street Profits would emerge tonight in Borderlands inspired gear. There was obviously a commercial after the match for the new Borderlands, which makes sense, but this looked really cool for the Street Profits. The big story of this match, though, was, are the Street Profits gonna break up? And no, they didn't break up tonight, but it didn't look good. There was definitely some problems within the Street Profits. Earlier today, the Wyatt Sicks actually posted an entire 3-minute plus promo video on Twitter, which teased this match and obviously teased the potential brotherhood of the Street Profits coming to an end, and maybe the Street Profits breaking up. And I really did wonder during this match if, like, the Street Profits were trying to play the Wyatt Sicks, were trying to say, look, there's problems here, to maybe Wyatt Sicks have their guard dropped or something, but that's not what happened. I thought the Wyatt Sicks getting involved tonight was cool, especially Nikki's spot. Nikki's spot was beautifully done. And all the dirt sheet rumours are we're going to be setting up a Wyatt Sicks and MFT feud going forward on SmackDown, so that could be something interesting. As for the Profits, though, was tonight the catalyst for the breakup? Are they going to break up the Street Profits? I guess it might be an ongoing story that we see, like, more frustration between the two. Becky Lynch would retain the Intercontinental Championship, and I've got to be honest, I really didn't enjoy this match. It just felt like the chemistry really wasn't there between Becky and Nikki Bella, and that definitely resulted into some bad spots. The first, the bouncing Becky's head off the announce tables, you know, when she just literally followed through with her hands each time, it looked really bad. Then that kick out of the corner by Nikki Bella, of course, I don't know if that was Nikki just mistiming it or Becky being out of position. Certainly didn't help when Becky Lynch went to jump back, tried to sell it, even though Nikki was already on the floor. And, then she went for the cover. She did try to cover it up very quickly, but that one, should I sell it or not moment, really just looked awful. Becky would pin Nikki Bella tonight with like a unique backslide. Question though, now with Nikki Bella in the rearview mirror and Lyra Valkyria unable to challenge for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, who's next for Becky Lynch? An absolute banger tonight between Sheamus and Rusev in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, which was perfectly placed on the card as we set up for the two big main events. This had all the hardcore spots you could want, including Sheamus going through the bar and Sheamus driving Rusev off the whiskey barrels through two tables. Rusev couldn't believe it, I couldn't believe it. The near falls in this match were incredible. Rusev kicked out of a bro kick. Don't see that too often. The ending is something you also don't see too often in WWE, as Rusev locked in the accolade. Sheamus had to tap out, which Michael Cole put over as only the second time in WWE history that Sheamus has tapped out. Someone needs to fact check that. No shame whatsoever on Sheamus, because he did have the shillelagh in his mouth, Rusev ripping at Sheamus. He had no choice but to tap. I actually kind of hope this isn't the end, because this was a classic and I want more. Interestingly though, Rusev would put his hands over his ears when the crowd started chanting for Rusev Day. Obviously Rusev wants to be taken seriously and everything, but just found this really interesting, the reaction, not just ignoring it, but making a point about it. Maybe there's a bit of a story there for the future of one day, because they're going to do it, WWE, one day when Rusev Day does return, probably on Rusev Day, that, this is like a story where Rusev accepts to have fun or something. Tonight, WWE announced their next European tour, and it will happen just after the new year, starting January 8th and end on January 19th. I'm looking at that show, January 16th in London. Maybe I'll go. Logan Paul would go one-on-one with John Cena tonight. And let's just say, it was very safe to say there was very little mixed reaction for Cena tonight. This was a very pro John Cena crowd in Paris. And you know what? You could feel the energy all the way through the match. It was awesome. We'd see an uppercut by Logan Paul during the match, which then earned a shout out for Cesaro by Michael Cole on commentary. I think that's like the second or third time this year they've actually talked about Cesaro or Claudio Castagnoli. A bit later, there'd be a zigzag by Logan Paul, which of course would then earn a Ziggler zigzag shout out by Michael Cole also. John Cena would pull out an end of days during this match, but yes, Wade Barrett did call it a modified flatliner, so yeah, they don't do the shout-outs all the time because that should have been one for Baron Corbin. One of the most incredible things I've ever seen John Cena do, though, he hit a Styles Clash on Logan Paul tonight. Oh my god, and it was beautifully done as well. John would eventually get the win. Do you know what? I'm just going to say it. Match of the night. This was absolutely incredible. Finisher after finisher, kick out after kick out. Usually I'm not a fan of it, but it really worked here, especially with the French fans. Cena would then roll out of the ring and celebrate with the kid from Brussels that was in the audience again tonight, and then kiss this woman. I'm going to assume this is his wife, because that makes the most sense, but it is Paris. I mean, anything could happen. That could be that kid's mum for all we know. The official attendance tonight was announced as 30,343, and WWE making a point that this broke the previous arena record held from May last year by Taylor Swift. And you know what that means? Tonight, WWE defeats Taylor Swift at Clash in Paris. I'm going to give this PLE an 8 out of 10. It was a decent show. The crowd definitely brought it up from a 7, but there was a few things that pulled it back down too. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We'll be right back here tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. So I'll see you then. Peace!